Hello, my dear students. Welcome you all to Sri Jain Rank Zone classes. I am your mentor and your friend for the subject biology, and I will be taking the animal science, that is the zoology section. My dear students, in the last lecture, we learned about different types of connective tissues, the classification of connective tissue proper. Okay. Now we are going to start with, today we are going to start with, we have already been started the connective tissue proper. Okay. Now we are going to start with the skeletal connective tissue. Okay. The skeletal connective tissue basically consists of bone and cartilage. Okay. So we will be going to discuss about bones and cartilages and their subtypes in detail. The supportive connective tissue, after connective tissue proper, we are having a supportive connective tissue in which the matrix is dense and it is mineralized. Why it is mineralized? Because it is having the deposition of calcium and phosphate and other minerals. Okay, so because of this mineralization, it becomes hard. The matrix becomes hard and rigid. Due to deposition of minerals, it becomes hard. Okay, also known as skeletal tissue or skeleton of body. So this is the category of the supportive connective tissue. The supportive connective tissue is the category in which the matrix is basically having the deposition of the salts, different salts of calcium and phosphorus, which lead to the hardening of the matrix. It is of two types. Cartilage. Cartilage is a solid, semi-rigid, flexible connective tissue. Cartilage is a solid, semi-rigid, flexible connective tissue. Okay, and bone is solid and rigid connective tissue. So flexibility in case of bones is not flexible. But in case of cartilage, flexibility is there. So cartilage, they are flexible, they are solid, they are semi-rigid, but bones, they are solid, they are rigid, and they are not so flexible, okay, or they are not non-flexible. Understood? Now coming to next, cartilage. The outermost covering of cartilage is called perichondrium. The outermost covering of the cartilage is known as what? Perichondrium, which is composed of white fibrous connective tissue. Okay, so perichondrium in case of cartilage, which serves as a outermost covering, it is made up of white fibrous connective tissue. Cartilage producing cells are arranged on periphery, known as chondroblast. Chondroblast, they are the cartilage secreting cells. They produce cartilage. Okay, so these are the cartilage secreting cells. Okay, these cells are active in terms of cell division. They divide to form chondrocytes and synthesize the matrix of cartilage. So chondroblast, they basically divide, they undergo differentiative division, they undergo mitotic division to form chondrocytes, and chondrocytes, they help to lay the cartilage. Okay, and it also helps to synthesize the matrix of cartilage. So chondroblast, it forms chondrocytes, plus it also forms or synthesizes the matrix of cartilage. Mature cells of cartilage, they are called chondrocytes, and immature or undifferentiated cells, they are known as what? They are known as what? Chondroblasts. These chondrocytes, they are found in vacuole, okay, like space. This vacuole like space in matrix is called lacunae. Okay, so lacunae are basically cavities or sacs where the chondroblast and chondrocytes, they are found. Okay, in which 2 to 3 chondrocytes are present. Okay, so lacunae, they are the cavities or the sacs which contains 2 to 3 chondrocytes at a time. Okay, these spaces, they are present in the matrix or the space. Okay, so cartilage, the very first point, the outermost covering is known as what? Perichondrium, which is composed of white fibers or connective tissue, white fibrous connective tissue. Cartilage producing cells, they are arranged periphery on the periphery, and they are known as what? Chondroblast. Chondroblast, it undergoes differentiative division to form chondriocytes, and chondriocytes, they live in the small spaces or the cavities in the matrix, which is known as what? Lacunae. Okay, in which 2 to 3 chondrocytes are present. Chondroclast, they are the cartilage destroying cells. So chondroclast, they are the cartilage destroying cells. So there are three terms: chondroblast, chondriocytes, and chondroclast. Chondroclast, they helps in the resorption of cartilage. Okay. Matrix of the cartilage is called chondrin. Matrix of the cartilage is known as what? Chondrin, which is composed of chondromucoprotein having chondroitin 6-sulfate and mucopolysaccharide hyaluronic acid. So the matrix of the cartilage is basically known as chondrin. It is known as what? Chondrin, which is composed of chondromucoprotein, having chondroitin 6-sulfate and mucopolysaccharide hyaluronic acid. Matrix of the cartilage provides rigidity. Matrix of the cartilage, it provides rigidity and elasticity to the cartilage. So it's the matrix which provides the rigidity and the elasticity to the cartilage. Okay, so please remember this point. Because of the matrix, okay, the cartilage owns the rigidity and the elasticity both. Okay. Blood circulation is absent in the matrix of the cartilage. So in the matrix of the cartilage, blood circulation is absent. So matrix of the cartilage, it provides rigidity and elasticity to the cartilage, and blood circulation is absent in case of matrix of the cartilage. Okay. Matrix of the cartilage is made up of chondroitin 6-sulfate and mucopolysaccharide hyaluronic acid. Understood? The matrix is called chondrin. Now, coming to next slide, types of cartilage. What are the different types of cartilage? Understood? The types of cartilage includes hyaline cartilage, white fibrous cartilage, and yellow elastic cartilage. Hyaline cartilage, white fibrous cartilage, and yellow elastic cartilage. Understood? These are the types of cartilage: hyaline cartilage, white fibrous cartilage, and yellow elastic cartilage. Hyaline cartilage. In hyaline cartilage, most of the part of embryonic skeleton is composed of this cartilage. So most of the part of embryonic skeleton is made up of, composed of this cartilage. Okay. Therefore, maximum bones of the body are cartilaginous bones. Okay. Maximum bones of the body, they are cartilaginous bones because they are developed from cartilage. They are developed from cartilage. So most of the bones of the body, they are made up of, they are cartilaginous bones, and they are developed from the hyaline cartilage. Hyaline cartilage is considered to be the embryonic skeleton, and it is composed of, the most of the part of the embryonic skeleton is made up of the hyaline cartilage, and this hyaline cartilage is going to form in maximum number of bones. Okay. Outermost covering of hyaline cartilage is known as what? Perichondrium. The perichondrium is present. Matrix of this cartilage is glass-like. It is glass-like or clear. Okay. Or hyaline matrix. Matrix of this cartilage is glass-like or clear or hyaline matrix. So please remember that matrix of this cartilage is glass-like, clear or hyaline matrix. Fibers are completely absent in the matrix. No fibers are present. Fibers are completely absent. That is why it is clear or hyaline matrix, because fibers are absent. Only few collagen fibers may be present. Maybe, okay, few collagen fibers, they can be present. So hyaline cartilage, it lacks fibers, and that is why its matrix is, glass-like, complete, transparent. Now coming to next, color of the matrix is bluish. The color of the matrix is bluish and it is translucent. Nasal septum. The hyaline cartilage, please remember this term, that color of the matrix is bluish, okay, and it is translucent. Example, nasal septum. Nasal septum is made up of hyaline cartilage. Color of the matrix is bluish and it is translucent. Nasal septum. C-shaped rings of trachea and bronchi. C-shaped rings of trachea and bronchi, they are made up of hyaline cartilage. These rings are incomplete at the back side dorsal surface. Color of the matrix is bluish and it is translucent. Okay. Example, nasal septum. Understood? So, we got to know that the C-shaped rings of the trachea and bronchi, which are incomplete in the dorsal surface, mean they have hyaline cartilage. Hyaline cartilage, the fibers are absent, very minimal fibers. Sternal part of the ribs. Sternal part of the ribs means ribs, it is having two parts. The front or the anterior part attaches to the sternum. Anterior part attaches to the sternum. Attaches to the sternum. And this anterior part is known as what? Costal cartilage. Known as costal cartilage. Understood? Larynx, thyroid, cricoid cartilage, arachnoid cartilage. Maximum part of the larynx is composed of hyaline cartilage only. That is why it is mentioned that hyaline cartilage, it is present at the maximum sites. Okay. And most of the bones present in our body right now, they are made up of hyaline cartilage. I mean, they were precursors or they are modifications of hyaline cartilage only. So, the larynx, thyroid cartilage, arachnoid cartilage, cricoid cartilage, they are made up of hyaline cartilage. Articular cartilage, okay. At the junction of two long bones, when two long bones meet, okay, their junction, it is having an articular facet or articular surface. Like for example, I'll make, these are two bones. So this facet, you can see this facet, this is known as what? Articular facet. So this articular facet is basically, it is laid with a cartilage over here. This cartilage prevents cartilage over here, and which is a hyaline cartilage. Okay, this cartilage prevents friction. Okay, this cartilage prevents friction. So at the junction of two long bones on the articular surface, hyaline cartilage is here. At the end of the long bone, periosteum is absent. At the end of the long bone, so long bones, if it is ending here, okay, these are the ends. The periosteum is absent, and hyaline cartilage is present. So please remember. So articular cartilage at the junction of two bones on the articular surface, and the end of the long bones, they don't have the periosteum. The periosteum, it fades away, and the hyaline cartilage, it get appears. So this is the hyaline cartilage. Okay, now we are going to discuss about the fibrous cartilage. Okay, so basically the elastic cartilage and hyaline cartilage, these are two categories of cartilages. Fibrous cartilage is, it is of two types, but I should say the fibrous cartilage, it is basically of two types. The first category is the white fibrous cartilage, and the second category is the elastic cartilage. So right now we are going to discuss about the elastic cartilage. Elastic cartilage, perichondrium is absent. This is very important. Perichondrium is present. In case of hyaline cartilage, perichondrium was present. Perichondrium is present also in fibrous cartilage. Okay, perichondrium is present in case of elastic cartilage. Elastic cartilage is a type of fibrous cartilage. The perichondrium is present. Understood? Next, in the matrix of elastic cartilage, yellow fibers form a network. So it is highly flexible cartilage. Highly flexible cartilage because in matrix the yellow fibers are present. Okay, that's why these fibers, they make the elastic cartilage very flexible. Okay, color of the matrix is pale yellow, while in the hyaline cartilage color of the matrix was bluish. Okay, bluish white. Okay, the color of the matrix is uh, pale yellow or yellowish. And the matrix is opaque because of the presence of fibers. The matrix is opaque. Okay, opaque matrix. Example: tip of the nose, ear pinna, epiglottis, larynx. And which part of the larynx? The cartilage of Santorini. The cartilage of Santorini in larynx is elastic cartilage, while cricoid, arachnoid, and thyroid cartilage, they are hyaline cartilage. And wall of the eustachian tube, it is also a elastic cartilage. Okay, so these are the different types of elastic cartilage. I mean, not types of elastic cartilage. These are the locations of elastic cartilages where they are present. All these are the locations. Understood? When elastic cartilage perichondrium is present, the matrix is basically having numerous fibers, and these fibers are yellowish in color. That is why they provide the yellow color to the matrix. Okay, and the presence of fibers make the matrix opaque. Okay, now it is present in tip of the nose, eustachian tube, wall of the eustachian tube, in larynx, the cartilage of Santorini, epiglottis, ear pinna, and tip of the nose. Understood? Now coming to next, white fibrous cartilage. White fibrous cartilage, perichondrium is absent. So in white fibrous cartilage, perichondrium is absent because complete white fibrous connective tissue is converted into cartilage. Okay. So in case of white fibrous cartilage, perichondrium is absent because white fibrous connective tissue is completely converted into cartilage. Okay, please remember, perichondrium is absent because complete white fibrous connective tissue is converted into cartilage. In matrix, bundle of collagen fibers are more in quantity, so it is the strongest cartilage. It is the strongest cartilage among all, when among the hyaline cartilage and the elastic cartilage. It is the strongest cartilage because bundle of collagen fibers is present. Okay. Example: pubic symphysis. Okay. Pubis bone is basically divided in two parts, half part of the pelvic girdle known as os innominata. Os innominata are interconnected by pubic symphysis. The pubic symphysis is a white fibrous cartilage which basically connects two lateral parts of the pelvic girdle, os innominata. Intervertebral disc. Okay. Intervertebral disc is also having the white fibrous cartilage. Okay. A pad of cushion-like structure which absorb the mechanical shock and the jerks and protect vertebral column. Intervertebral disc is basically a pad of cushion-like structure made up of white fibrous cartilage which absorb mechanical shock and jerks and protect vertebral column. Okay, because vertebral column needs to be protected and it is carrying the different types of spinal nerves. Okay, so these spinal nerves can be compressed if there is some, vertebral, if there is some vertebral dislocation. So in case of vertebral dislocation or dislocation, what will happen? The nerve, it can be, it can come in between the two vertebrae and which will create pain. So the cervical spondylitis, the different types of vertebral problems, okay, they arise because of this only. The intervertebral disc, it should be properly, present there to prevent the vertebrae from the mechanical shock and the jerks. Okay. Central part of this disc is soft. Central part of this disc is soft and called nucleus pulposus. Okay. The central part of the intervertebral disc is soft and is known as what? Nucleus pulposus. Nucleus pulposus is the remnant of embryonic notochord. Nucleus pulposus is considered as a remnant of embryonic notochord. There is a slight elongation of body after death, or in sleeping posture. It is due to the relaxation of this disc. Okay, because of the the disc, this disc, intervertebral disc, okay, it gets elongated after death. There is a slight elongation of the body which is seen, okay, because of the relaxation of this disc. Nucleus pulposus is the remnant of embryonic notochord. Nucleus pulposus is the central part of the intervertebral disc which is considered as the remnant of notochord. Calcified cartilage. It is a modified hyaline cartilage. Calcified cartilage is a modified hyaline cartilage, but due to the deposition of calcium salts, its matrix becomes hard like bones. Okay, the calcified cartilage, it basically becomes hard like bones because of the presence of the calcium salts present in the matrix. It is the hardest cartilage of the body. The hardest cartilage of the body is the calcified cartilage, and the strongest cartilage of the body is the white fibrous cartilage. Calcium salt deposits in the form of hydroxyapatite crystals. Calcium salts, they are present or deposited in the form of hydroxyapatite crystals. This is the formula of hydroxyapatite crystals. You can see Ca10PO4 whole 6 OH whole twice. Ca10PO4 whole 6 OH whole twice. Okay. Pubis of frogs and pelvic girdle. So calcified cartilage is present in the pubis of frog and pelvic girdle. Okay, because of the calcium deposition in the form of hydroxyapatite crystals, which make it like a bone. Okay, suprascapula of pectoral girdle, mean the wing bone. Suprascapula of the pectoral girdle, and head of femur and humerus. The head of femur and humerus and suprascapula of pectoral girdle, it basically has the deposition of calcified cartilage. Okay, so calcified cartilage examples: suprascapula of the pectoral girdle, wing bone, and the head of the humerus and femur. Okay, then pubis of frog, pelvic girdle, they also have calcified cartilage. Calcified cartilage simply means because of the deposition of calcium like salts, the matrix becomes very hard. Okay, as in case of bones. Okay, intervertebral disc is basically a remnant, is considered as a it is made up of white fibrous cartilage, okay, which absorbs the mechanical shock and jerks and prevent vertebral column. So intervertebral disc, it basically act as a pad of cushion, which absorb the mechanical shock and jerks and protect vertebral column. The central part of this disc is soft and known as nucleus pulposus. Nucleus pulposus is considered as a remnant of embryonic notochord. Okay, there is a slight elongation after death or during the sleeping posture because of the relaxation of this disc. White fibrous cartilage is considered to be the strongest cartilage among all because of the deposition of large amount of collagen fibers in the form of bundles. Pubic symphysis mean the lateral parts of the pelvic girdles, half part of the pelvic girdle, having os innominata, half part of the pubic bone, okay, which are connected by pubic symphysis. The pubic symphysis is basically the white fibrous cartilage. The intervertebral disc is also the white fibrous cartilage. Perichondrium is absent as it is completely made up of white fibrous connective tissue. Okay. Now, I'll revise one slide for you so that you can remember. There are two types of cartilage, I should say. The hyaline cartilage and the fibrous cartilage. I think I have posted some differences as well in the next slide. Yeah. So these are the differences, types of cartilage. Okay. Hyaline cartilage, type 2 collagen is present along with aggregates. Elastic cartilage, type 2 collagen is present, very minimal. in the matrix. Type 2 collagen is present aggregate, and they are also having dark elastic fibers. Fibrocartilage, dense connective tissue. So it's very important. It is made up of white fibrous connective tissue, dense connective tissue, okay, along with type 1 and type 2 collagen. So hyaline cartilage and elastic cartilage, they have type 2 collagen, and fibrocartilage, they have type 1 and type 2 both. The fibrocartilage, it is having the dense connective tissue. The elastic cartilage, it is having the dense dark elastic fibers. Cells, hyaline cartilage, chondrocytes and chondroblast. Chondroblast, they get further differentiated into chondrocytes. Okay. Elastic cartilage, chondrocytes, chondroblast. Fibrocartilage, they are having some specialized, cells, fibrochondrocytes. Hyaline cartilage, they are small, isolated, and isogenous. Isogenous means they have same types of, the morphology, or we can say homogeneity. Homogeneity means the arrangement of cells is so uniform that it looks like that it is completely transparent. Okay, as there is no matrix present. What the matrix? Sorry, not no matrix. Matrix is present, but the fibers are absent. Understood? Elastic cartilage, they have small isogenous groups of the cells. Fibrocartilage, the cells are axially arranged, isogenous groups, and isolated. Perichondrium is present, perichondrium is absent. Locations, I have already told you the locations: hyaline cartilage, epiphyseal plates of long bones, fetal skeleton, articular ends of long bones throughout the upper respiratory tract, hyaline cartilage. Elastic cartilage, external ear, epiglottis, auditory tube, external auditory meatus, and the laryngeal cartilage. Okay, laryngeal cartilage of Santorini. Fibrocartilage, intervertebral disc, pubic symphysis, okay, menisci, tendinous insertions, okay, then glenohumeral acid, and temporomandibular joint, TMJ. Because of this temporomandibular joint, the lower jaw, it basically articulates with the facet of skull. Okay, understood? Okay, so this is the temporomandibular joint. Functions: hyaline cartilage, joint articulation in the form of articular cartilage, and scaffold of osteogenesis. This term scaffold for osteogenesis, I will make you understand when we will learn about the bone. Okay, then elastic cartilage, it helps in the structural support. Fibrocartilage for compression, shear, force resistance, means mechanical shock, providing the resistance towards mechanical shock. Okay, so these are the different cartilages, and we will be starting the part of the bones in the next class. Till then, please take care, everyone. Take care. Bye bye. Stay safe.